Okay, this may be a little help in setting up your course in Canvas. So what is Canvas? Go over here to the login page of UB, log into Canvas. There's the course I'm teaching. I'm clicking on that. Now, you would have to update your syllabus, and I did that. Now I have it so that it reflects my information here. And you could edit it this way here. You could take what's there, delete it, put in what you want, but the framework is there. Ryan set this up as the shell course, and that's working out very well. So the next thing, once your syllabus is set up, is to go down to My Lab in Mastering. And Ryan has done a good job at setting this up too. You get to this page. Well, the first thing you have to do is click Open. Now, if I was using Chrome, for some reason, nothing happened when I clicked on this. But I'm using Mozilla, and it works very well. I click on that. And then Brian gave me an access code for this page that got me into this. So now I am beyond that initial page. And I want to manage the course somewhat. And we go down here to Course Tools. And we want to go to Assignment Manager. Now, what I've done is I've already done some of the things on this page, but then in reflection I said, well, before I do the final thing, let me just review this for others if it's helpful. So you go here to Change Date and Assignment Status, because what will appear would be the old dates. So to get you started, I would click here, and this checks everything. So for the start date, I went in and I put in there 1/01. I just did it right here. 21, which is the Monday, Martin Luther King Day. So the course starts after that. And then the year 19. And then I clicked here, Applied to Selected. So everything, since I checked it here, everything is now with that as a start date. Okay, then I unchecked it. And then I want to do my Chapter 1 or Unit 1 assignments. So I selected those. And all of the ones that went to Chapter 1 or Unit 1. And I'm testing on Unit 1 on February 5th. So I went up here and put in there February 5th. And then since I had checked the ones for number 1, all of them, I then said for due, apply to selected. And then it filled all of them in. Then I did the same for Unit 2, because I've done that already. Now our Unit 2, we're going to test on the 21st of February. And I did it for Unit 3. We're testing on the 28th of March. But if you go down here, I must have missed this one here. I don't know why that is. So that one didn't take. So I'll have to, maybe I didn't check it. Yeah, that's what happened. So you can go over it and then do it individually. March. We said March 28th. All right, so I picked up on that. And Unit 3 assessment was in. So now I'm going to do Unit 4. So I'm going to check all of the items in Unit 4. You can see how I do it here. So just the items of Unit 4. That's probably what happened. It didn't click here, including the assessment. And now I'm going to go up here. And for Unit 4's test, that's going to be on April 25th. So I click over to April here, and then the 25th. And then I click here, Apply to Selected. So I had selected it, just Unit 4. And now I go down, all the way down. And I see all my Unit 4 items. The due date is this. I'm going to allow for late submission, not take off any points. And I'm going to say, this is important because if you don't do this, it goes back to what it was. Update all settings. And then it says, I have now updated. So I've done now all of this, and they're all done. Now, the next thing I want to do here is change the order of these a little bit. So I'll show you how to do that too. So I've gone back to Assignment Manager, and there they are. And you'll note now all of my dates, start and due dates, are up to date. Now I notice some things are not assigned, so I'm going to have to be sure I click all of these. And let me go there, back to, before I change order here. And I want to be sure all of these are assigned here. Okay, now if I go to this column right here, I'm going to click on Assign for everything. And then I will apply, again, everything. Check everything, apply to all selected. So now it's changed from some that were not assigned to everything is assigned. And they have their due dates. Okay. All right. Now go back to Assignment Manager. And go here to the menu bar, More Tools. And I want to reorder the assignments. Okay, so instance, I don't want the media here coming before we actually do the work. So I'm going to move this down, clicking and dragging to right there. So they do the homework, 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 and media. Media is just 3 or 4 questions, sometimes only 2, that give a quick little review of what they've done. And it counts for a little bit too. So I'm going to move this one now to, let's see, I got to get it to where I drag it here. Where do I have to go? The number maybe. Let's see here. There we go. Now I'm going to do that for all. Now that's good. Got to move this media from there. I got to go over to the letters perhaps. The numbers, I should say. There we go. And then this there. All right. So I'm going to do that for all of them, and apparently you click and grab and drag. So again, you have to hold the number and move it. And we want to have the media after the assignments. And I've checked that out. And again, be sure to save it. So I'm back on this home page, sort of. And I'm clicking now in the area called Assignments. So if you click on that, this is what we have set up for what will be in the assignment group. and it's called Notebooks, and assignments are all there. Now I want the media. We're going to have to tweak this a little bit, because under notebook and workbook, which is 10% of the grades, the only thing I want here is your 2 notebook grades. So I have to tweak this here as I go, and we'll get back. I made another video of this last term, but I don't recall all the details. I'll have to play around with this a little bit. Now, this is where you can set up your own particular things. The way I'm doing it is for notebook now, which is 10% of the grade. I don't want the media as part of that notebook. I want this as part of their homework. So I go over here to these 3 dots, and I'm going to say move to the assignment group. Click down here, and I'm going to change the name of assignments to homework. So I'm going to get back to you again. And the way I'm going to do it here is let me cancel this here. I'm going to go to where it says assignments, because that's where the homework is. And they're calling that 20% of the grade. Well, I'm going to edit that, and I'm going to call this group homework. Any homework, and that's going to have the rating of 10%. And I'm going to save this. Now, they don't have a group here called quizzes. So I'm going to click on this plus. I'm going to create a new group. I'm going to call this group Open Notes Quizzes. And this we said was 10% of the grade. Okay. Now, going back to this, we have notebooks, workbooks. I'm going to move these, but it's 10% of the grade, so that's good. Homework is 10% of the grade. I'm going to add things to this. Now, our tests are 40%. And we don't give them the tests that are there. In my class, I give them paper tests. So I'm going to unselect these tests. Now you can use these tests if you want, and then just leave that. Now I'm going to take all of these self-assessments out and put that in homework as well. And then the final is 30%. So now notice I have this new category down here, Open Notes Quizzes, 10%. So 10, 30 is 40, 40 is 80, and then we have 10 for this and 10 for that, 100%. Okay, we're good now. So I'm going to move this, and it just takes time. Move now to homework, and I move it. So it'll be gone from there soon. And then I do the next one. Move to. There's no fast way to do this. And then I'll get back to you once I do it all. It's going to take a while. All right, so I moved everything out of notebook, workbook to homework that was there. But now I don't have any notebook here, so I'm going to click on this plus, and the type will be a assignment thing. And I guess that's all right. The name is going to be homework log, which is due periodically, but we will set it up for the end of the course, which we'll call May 2nd. All right, and it's going to be 50 points. So I'm going to mark it by percentage, or 50 points, out of 50 points. I call it 5, but I just multiply that by 10. And I'm going to save and publish. So now I have the homework log. Now I'm going to need the mini lecture booklet too. So the lecture booklet, and that's going to be due also in the 2nd of May, the end of the course. And that'll be 5 points as well. And I will multiply by 10, so I will end up giving 50 points. So save and publish. Now notice there is a post 1 or module 1 post test. It has 12 points, but it's not active. I'm not sure what that is. I guess we can just take it out of there. Delete. Okay, so there's my notebook workbook. Now, the reason I'm doing this, by the way, is that since this is Pearson and MyLab and Mastering, but this is all transferred over to Canvas. So whatever you put in here, it gets over to Canvas eventually, and students can see their grades right along. Okay, so we have the notebooks now. We have all the syllabus stuff in here. It has all the media. The due dates have already been set. Homework is all lined up. And then now we have the tests. Now I don't want the self-assessments counted as tests. Self-assessments are homework, so I'm going to move them. So move to, go over here, homework, and move. So it drops out of there. And then I have to go all the way down again, though. And then I'm going to move the self-assessment. Move to homework. Now, these are all done using the software, and in my classes, I give hard test. So the test will show up in Canvas, and then from the paper tests, you physically put in the grades. That's how they get their test scores. And then it's all averaged in because it's under test. So they don't take their test in Pearson here, in MyLab and Mastering. They do a paper test. Move to homework. So I finished up moving the self-assessment, and I've unchecked the major test here. I'm trying to unpublish this. Let's see here. There. Now I think, is there a save or whatever? Or it's been saved as we went along. All right, so now everything is lined up with what I have in my syllabus. And of course, you're allowed to do this. Now the due dates are all reflecting old ones here. And I see I haven't probably synced this yet with our new thing. So let's go back here now. to MyLab and Mastering. And then it says sync grades here. So let's sync this and see what happens. Well, there isn't anything really going on yet. And we want to do all. All right, sync grades now. All right, so this is syncing. And what this is doing is sending now everything over to Canvas. Again, right now we're in MyLab and Mastering. So it looks like everything has been synced. So let's go back to MyLab and Mastering, the one course I'm doing this term. If I had 2 courses, I'd have to do that in the other course too. And I want to go to grades. And now notice, homework log out of 50. You would physically put in the scores here. And then as the students do work in MyLab and Mastering, their scores are reflected here. And then you scroll over to the very end. And I went back for some reason. Let me get a little further. And of course, nobody's taken anything. Nobody's done anything. But eventually, all of it comes right here. So workbooks, 10%. Homework, 10%. Open notes quizzes, right here, 10%. Test, 40%. Final, 30%. Everything is synced. All right, got it done, and I'm ready to start the course. And hopefully this is helpful for you.